Hey Siege fans, I'm your host Seltzer, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to Operation Shadow Legacy, the biggest season yet to come to Siege. We're still coming at you from the comforts of our own homes, and we're excited to share what's coming up with the help of our very own Ubisoft news team. They've put together a quick look at what's in store today, starting with our newest operator. Most of you know him as Sam Fisher, but at Siege, we like to call him Zero.
You should know better than to write me off. August cam placed.
In Operation Shadow Legacy, a legend steps out of the darkness and into the light as Sam Fisher comes to Rainbow Six Siege. Armed with a powerful new intel-gathering gadget, a deadly new assault rifle, and a gruff demeanor honed over years of fieldwork, Fisher steps into his new call sign, Zero, with all the swagger you'd expect from an icon.
Perfect shot.
But Shadow Legacy is about more than one operator. It's about a whole host of gameplay modifications that will change the way you play Siege. Ping 2.0, new and updated optics, a hard-breaching secondary gadget, pooled reinforcements, and map ban, plus the match replay alpha phase on the test server are just some of the updates that, along with a rework of the scenic chalet map, will ensure this season has a lasting legacy. It starts with Sam Fisher joining Team Rainbow as Zero, a medium-speed, medium-armor attacker. His SC-3000K assault rifle may look familiar to fans of his previous work, and it's right at home in Siege with a variety of optics to suit your preferred style. He can also rock the MP7, and he's got a 5.7 USG sidearm with an integrated suppressor in keeping with his signature stealthy style. Speaking of which, check out the laser sight on his Argus launcher. It doesn't just have the look, it also delivers the goods. Intel.
Ready. Argus launched.
Always one to use cameras to his advantage, Zero can fire his Argus projectiles into breakable and reinforced surfaces to burrow through and create camera vision on both sides of the barrier. Walls, floors, hatches, and ceilings are all potential peak points for Zero and his allies. And though the two-way cameras can only look in one direction at a time, there's no more versatile way to get a look into a room the defenders don't want you to see. Even if they can't burrow all the way through, Zero's camera projectiles will still stick into most surfaces, opening up a world of possibilities for cheeky new camera placements.
Cam deployed.
And it's not just intel they'll be gathering. Each Argus projectile can fire a single laser to destroy enemy gadgets or deal minor damage to enemies themselves. Zero's gadget is a powerful new tool for the attacking team, so defenders will want to keep their eyes and ears peeled. The projectiles make a distinct sound when burrowing into place, and can be easily destroyed with a bullet. Electrified surfaces will destroy the projectiles on contact. Also, mute jammers will keep them from functioning, while Wamai and Jaeger's gadgets will snap up any that fly by.
Cam in position.
But with so many places to deploy his gadget from relative safety, and so many ways to put it to use, Zero is sure to make his presence felt on Team Rainbow. The map you've been seeing here is likely familiar. I mean, who hasn't spent time in an expansive remote chalet surrounded by snow-capped peaks? The Chalet map rework brings some new navigation options to the venerable retreat, notably the ability to rappel all the way up and traverse the rooftop. There are some interior renovations as well, including one window you'll definitely want to watch out for, but we'll leave it to the level design team to tell you more. In fact, there is so much going on in Operation Shadow Legacy, we're going to have to let the developers...
Coming back to Chalet was really exciting, and it brought me back to my earlier years playing Rainbow Six, going through the woods with my squad, going towards the objective. And that's the same kind of feeling I have right now when I look at Chalet. Things we wanted to improve was the objective, making it a bit more fair on attack, and on defense, making it a bit more interesting. The way you attack the map now is completely different than before, simply because we added rappels in the map. You can move on the roof, that's completely different. The way you get line of sights into rooms and stuff, it's a simple thing, but for the map, like, it changes the whole dynamic. The only big change, I guess, in objective location is that trophy is not an objective anymore. So now you have kitchen and dining instead of having trophy, because we added the new stairs in trophy. So the basement is pretty much all there. Only for one major difference, which is something new, is that we connected the hallway that people call blue. From the stairs you can go to the hallway and into cellars. Cellar, we made it a bit different to help a lot of the defenders. So the garage door is a really cool way to attack the objective, and we didn't really want to change it too much. The only thing we did is add a window right above the garage door, making it so defenders can peek through the window and put pressure, and it just makes it so the gameplay is a bit more interactive during this phase of the attack, instead of just being the attackers opening the wall and that's it.
Let's see what it takes to bring a legend like Sam Fisher into Siege.
There is a lot of elements in the Sam Fisher fantasy that revolved around the Sam Fisher Splinter Cell gameplay of infiltration, of stealth, against AIs. Those elements, we had to interpret them in a way that would fit a PvP game like Rainbow Six Siege. We're bringing this camera intel aspect, the fact that Sam has more intel than his opponent, that he can outsmart them. So that was the first step, trying to get an intel tool on attack for Sam that would feel interesting. And that's when we came up with this idea of just, how can I look in the next room? How can I have an idea what's happening on the other side of the wall? And that's where we came up with the idea of the camera drilling through the wall to give us information on the other side. Once we started using that concept, which we felt was awesome and very natural in Siege, and as well also we're bringing a new weapon, and not just any new weapon. We're bringing the SC3000K, which is for us the iconic weapon of Splinter Cell. You're gonna recognize it right away by like the way it looks, the way it feels, and yeah, it's pretty great. It's definitely for us part of the Splinter Cell package, and it was really enjoyable to have that.
There is definitely a buzz and a lot of research that went into it. Like, we put a lot of research into all our operators, but this is like, it was already an established character. So we had to go through and pick and choose, okay, what are we keeping? What are we redesigning? What is essential to the core? So it was a little bit intimidating because he's such a big character. It's a sign of respect. 0 and 0 Alpha are actually call signs given to the net controller or commander. So it indicates his seniority. Harry is a psychologist. He doesn't have that military experience that Sam does. And coming in as an instructor, he's going to teach the rest of the guys a thing or two. So he's our first member of the ROS, Rainbow Operational Staff. My headcanon is always just Sam Fisher sitting in the back of the room with a coffee. He just doesn't say anything. He just looks at you and then walks away.
First of all, we're introducing 2 new sights, a new red dot and a new holographic sight. We are also bringing in 2 new scopes, one of it which is going to be at 1.5 zoom level, the other one is going to be at 2.0 zoom level. We are also changing the ACOG a bit. We're reducing the zoom level to 2.5 from 3.0. We are also keeping the 3.0 level. We're going to change the reticle and aesthetic insight of the scope, and it will also be distributed on DMRs. So yes, it's going to provide us with a new balancing tool for kits and provide you with different experience. So once the TS hits live for Shadow Legacy, feel free to hop in and provide us with some feedback. It would have been too good to have an ACOG on it, but the ability to give a 1.5 and actually use the range, it's incredibly fun. With those new sights and scopes, we're also bringing in more control for the players. We are introducing the accessibility tab in the option menus. So this will be the last tab that you see. When you open this, you will have plenty of choice for colors of your reticles. You will be able to choose from colorblind types, or simply pick a colors among the choices. And one of the other things that we will bring to this customization is the opacity level of the reticles. You can open this menu and this tab while you are in game, and then you'll be able to change it whenever you want.
In live, each defender has 2 reinforcements to deploy, so it's an individual amount of reinforcement. And with the new system of reinforcement, we have replaced this individual amount by a common pool of reinforcement. That means you have 10 reinforcement at the beginning of the round, no matter how player starts the round. If a player is disconnected or leaves the game, you have still 10 reinforcement available for all the team. Some operator has a lot of utilities to put in the environment. So now operators that are less to do during the preparation phase can focus on reinforcement, for example. Roamers can reinforce more than 2.
Right now we have only hero pin, but with new pin system, you just have to pin the gadget, and there was an icon tells you which gadget is there. So when you pin enemy gadget, you will be able to also reveal operator's identity on top of the screen. You can also pin your own gadgets. So this is useful for every level of the player, because let's say you pick the mute and you will be able to pin your own gadget to tell other players that I put mute gadget on this location. It's gonna be available on observation tool too. So you will be able to pin from camera and drone. We simply added number on hero pin assigned to each player. So it's gonna be 1 to 5. This will be decided at the beginning of a match, and you will keep until the end of the match.
So in the past few years, we saw that the attacker's composition is quite rigid, and bringing a hard breacher is a must, and we would like to ease it a little bit. And with the secondary gadget, the attackers don't need to bring a dedicated hard breacher, and maybe it can lead to some more exotic picks. So the hard breach charge, it's a bit slower, and the hole it makes is also smaller. It's still gonna be enough to vault through or crouch walk through. In Season 3, we are changing a little bit the behavior of the EMP grenade of Thatcher. As of now, in the game, Thatcher's EMP grenade can have multiple effects on the defender's gadget. Some of them are destroyed right away, and some of them are disabled for a certain amount of time, and then they come back to life. We would like to unify this, and from Season 3, all the defender in-world gadgets will be disabled instead of destroyed. The bandit tricking will change a little bit because of this. It can even lead to sometimes toxic behaviors of rage quitting. We will introduce first in the ranked and unranked playlists, and in the future we might add it to other playlists as well. There will be 3 maps generated randomly from the playlist map pool, and each team can vote to ban one of those. And at the end, what is not banned, they will play that one.
Be able to find it in the new section of the game that will be called Watch. You just have to click on it and it will start automatically. You will start from the perspective of the spectator. So you will be able to see the map and the players from the top view. But I think even more interesting it will be that you will have access to each player view. Regardless if it was your teammate or if it was your enemy, you will be able to see all the points of view, which is pretty exciting. And
we're going to launch a new personal stat tracker called My Siege Stats on rainbow6.com. We've built this platform to be a meaningful tool to track your performance and help you become a better player. Simply enter your username and we'll give you a host of stats that you can use to analyze your matches and target areas of improvement.